Hey folks, Simon Kemp from Kepios here, bringing you the top 10 stories from our flagship Digital 2022 Global Overview Report. You can read the full report over on datareportal.com, but this video will help you make quick sense of the key headlines in this latest update. Starting in reverse order at number 10, there's plenty of good news for social media platforms in this year's data. YouTube's global ad audience has now passed the 2.5 billion mark, with the video platform's total ad reach increasing by almost 12% over the past year. Instagram has grown even faster, with the company's ad reach data showing year-on-year growth of 21%. And that equates to more than 250 million new users in 2021 and takes Instagram's ad reach to almost 1.5 billion. However, TikTok may be growing even faster still. We only gained access to TikTok data in October, so we still can't report annual growth, but the latest figures do show that the platform's ad audience has grown by more than 7% in just the past 90 days. TikTok ads now reach roughly 885 million users aged 18 and above at a global level, and the company's data also indicate that more than half of all US adults now use TikTok every month. These three platforms aren't alone in posting impressive numbers though, so be sure to check out our full Digital 2022 report to get the complete picture. At number 9, one of the surprises in this year's data is that people are significantly more likely to pay for digital content than stereotypes suggest. Research from GWI reveals that more than 7 in 10 working-age internet users now pay for digital content each month, with video and music streaming platforms both top choices. However, people are still willing to pay for downloads too, with more than 1 in 5 internet users saying that they've paid to download music in the past 30 days. In total, Statista reports that the world's internet users spent almost $300 billion on digital content in 2021, with spend on video games accounting for well over half of that total. And talking of video games, we've got some great insights into the world's favourite titles and genres in the full Digital 2022 report, so do look out for the link in the description if you'd like that data. Story number 8 this quarter is that social media ad spend has jumped significantly in recent months. Data from Statista shows that brands spent more than $150 billion on social media ads in 2021, which is 17% more than they spent in 2020. For context, social media ads now account for roughly 1/3 of overall digital ad spending. And meanwhile, new data from Sky.io reveals that social media CPMs shot up in the recent holiday season. Global social media advertisers spent an average of $9.13 for 1,000 social media impressions in Q4 2021, which is almost 22% higher than the average for Q4 2020. Overall, Sky's data shows that brands spent 14% more on social media ads in Q4 2021 than they did in the final 3 months of the previous year. And just before we look at trend number 7, I'd like to say a big thank you to We Are Social for sponsoring this video. We Are Social is a socially led creative agency with 1,000 people in 15 offices across 4 continents. They're already a strategic and creative partner to brands like Adidas, Samsung, and Google, and they deliver a valuable global perspective in a time when social media is increasingly shaping culture. Head over to wearesocial.com to learn more. Returning to our headlines, the latest numbers from Statista show that the typical e-commerce shopper now spends more than $1,000 per year on online consumer goods purchases. Electronics accounted for the largest share of online consumer goods spend in 2021, but grocery saw the fastest growth, with annual revenues up by more than 35% across the food and beverages categories. Meanwhile, GWI reports that nearly 30% of working-age internet users now buy groceries online every week, with the total number of online grocery shoppers increasing by roughly 10% in just the past 6 months. There's also a glimmer of hope for online travel brands in the latest numbers. Statista reports that worldwide spending on online flight bookings edged up by roughly 7% in 2021, while the value of online hotel bookings surged by 45%. However, overall figures across the travel category are still well down compared with 2019 numbers, so there's still a long way to go before things start to get comfortable. If you're looking for more e-commerce insights, do be sure to check out Shopify's excellent Future of Commerce report. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Story number 6 is that the world spent $170 billion on mobile apps in 2021. And just for clarity, that figure only includes spending directly within app stores and doesn't include e-commerce spend or mobile ad revenues. App Annie's excellent new State of Mobile report reveals that worldwide app spend grew by almost 19% over the past year, and our additional analysis suggests that consumer spending nets out at just over $27 per smartphone. Now that might not sound like a lot, but to put that figure in perspective, consumers now spend more money on mobile apps than all the world's brands spend on social media advertising. And what's more, that $170 billion annual spend on apps equates to 0.2% of total global GDP, highlighting just how important the app economy has become. Entering the top 5, the latest data from GWI shows that people now spend an average of almost 2.5 hours per day using social media. Over 2022 as a whole, that will add up to more than 4 trillion hours of combined human existence. Meanwhile, some more great data from App Annie reveals that YouTube accounts for the greatest share of our social media time. Android users spend an average of 23.7 hours per month using the YouTube app, compared with 19.6 hours per month for Facebook and for TikTok. However, while the time spent with Facebook and YouTube remained relatively stable over the past year, average TikTok time has jumped by 48%. TikTok users spent 6 hours and 20 minutes more per month using the platform's Android app in 2021 than they did in 2020, so it's not just TikTok's user numbers that are making headlines. Story number 4 reveals that cryptocurrencies continue to gain momentum. Research from GWI shows that the number of people who own cryptocurrencies increased by a healthy 38% over the past 12 months, with more than 1 in 10 working-age internet users now saying that they own at least one of these financial instruments. However, crypto is even more popular across developing economies, especially in countries that suffer from large fluctuations in fiat currency exchange rates. For example, in Turkey, where the local lira has lost almost half of its value against the US dollar over the past year, cryptocurrency ownership has almost doubled in the past 12 months, from 10% to 18.6%. In at number 3, research reveals that people's social media preferences are evolving. Data from GWI shows that Instagram has now overtaken Facebook to claim second spot in the ranking of the world's favourite social media platforms, although the numbers between those two are still pretty close. WhatsApp remains the world's favourite social platform though, accounting for roughly 1 in 6 votes at a global level. WeChat is the only non-Meta platform to claim more than 10% of the global vote, but it's worth pointing out that a resounding 99% of the platform's votes came from users within mainland China. TikTok only scores 4.3% of the global vote, but the number of people choosing this option has jumped by 71% in just the past 3 months, so it'll be interesting to see how TikTok's rank evolves over the rest of 2022. Our second top story this quarter is that social media users continue to grow faster than they did before the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite a record 500 million new users in 2020, social media users still grew by more than 10% in 2021, taking the worldwide total to 4.62 billion in early 2022. Our analysis shows that social media users have grown by a factor of 3 over the past decade, and with that figure still increasing by more than 13 new users every second, we can expect the global total to reach 60% of the world's population within the next few months. But the top headline in our Digital 2022 report is that the number of people around the world who don't use the internet has just fallen below the 3 billion mark. This momentous milestone means that we're edging ever closer to universal accessibility, although there's still clearly a long way to go before we reach that goal. Our latest analysis reveals that 62.5% of the world's total population now uses the internet, with the global user figure now tantalizingly close to 5 billion. However, with COVID-19 continuing to hamper research and reporting, there's actually a good chance that we've already passed the 5 billion user mark, and I hope we'll be able to bring you full details of that exciting story in our next digital report. Now that's all for this Top 10 Headlines video, but the themes that I've covered today have barely scratched the surface of our Digital 2022 reports, so do check the description to find links to the full report and my in-depth analysis. If you've got any questions about the data that I've covered today and what these numbers might mean for you, please feel free to pop those in the comments or send me them on LinkedIn or Twitter, where you'll find me as Eskimon. Thanks as always to We Are Social and Hootsuite for making these reports possible, and to our wonderful data partners for allowing us to share their valuable insights. And thanks to you for joining me today too. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you again in our next video.